Look at this lovely lighting got here. So I've been meaning to watch this movie for like the longest fucking time. But now I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Might as well. So yeah, the movie we're talking about today is called ATM. And yeah, that's the title card. Just like Times Roman on top of black. A little bit glitched. Yeah, they went with that. So the movie takes place in Illinois, because I think that's what I saw on that license plate. So it takes place in the Midwest. It stars the boyfriend from I Know Who Killed Me, Josh Peck, and the blonde chick who was unnecessarily half naked during Star Trek Into Darkness. Although that scene was a split second, it was still unnecessary. All three of them work in an office. Josh Peck is the douchebag guy in the office. He's the douchebag friend. There's the holiday party because it's during holidays. Main guy is wanting to get with the girl for the longest time. Oh, the girl's gonna have her last day because she's moving to a different company. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, so Josh Peck's character is so douchey. You just really hope he dies. And spoiler alert, he does. Just later. Well, the main guy makes an excuse to like go after the girl to be like, oh hey, you forgot your hat, you know, stupid shit like that. And he's like, oh, actually, you know what? Don't get a cab. Let me drive you home. Cool. So he goes to grab like his keys or something, and Josh Peck is like, hey, man, all drunk and stupid. He goes, hey, you know, like, you're my ride home. He goes like, oh, dude, just wait here. Let me drive her home first, and then I'll come back and get you. Or like, get a cab, dude. It's not a big deal. He's like, you said you'd stay, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, the only reason, like, yeah, he like drank so much because he knew he was gonna have a ride home. Yada yada. Anywho, so they go, and it's like awkward third wheel kind of stuff. And of course, Josh Peck leaves his phone at the office, uses the main guy's phone, and he's like, oh, dude, your battery's dying. But as he's like, oh yeah, give me your phone, instead of just like handing it to him, he just like tosses to him. So of course it falls in like that, you know, that freaking black hole in your car where if something drops there, you're fucked. So yeah, of course you already have that whole thing where like, okay, so one person doesn't have a phone, the next person's phone is dead, we gotta rely on the girl's phone, pretty much, in this kind of horror film, whatever shit. 15 minutes in, they arrive at the ATM, which is at like this empty ass fucking parking lot. It's this tiny little, like, you know, looks like a spot like here that's like the public bathroom kind of thing, you know, where it's just like two little machines. One is obviously, you know, out of order, and yeah, and they go to the ATM because Josh Peck is drunk as fuck, and he's like, oh, let's go get pizza. And he's like, well, I gotta get cash. Nah, they only take cash only. And like before that, they like he had like some stupid like story where he was just like, yeah, so I called 10 minutes before the ball drops last year, and I asked to get pizza. So when the guy gets here, I was like, hey, I don't have to pay for it because I ordered this last year. And I love that everyone around him is like, really? Like, that's not even funny. Like, I like that they all acknowledged I wasn't funny and I was really douchey. Also, I thought that the killer was, you know, like one of the guys that he kind of poked fun at in his office. No, it's not. I'll let you know who the killer is. By then, it's like midnight, like pretty much 1 a.m. And they show that it's about like -5 degrees. It's fucking cold. But instead of like, so let's say like this is like the parking, whatever not, and the building is right here where the ATM is. Instead of parking like right in front of it, because my ass would have been like, if this was like the doorway for the ATM, would have just parked right next to it like this and just would have waited for his ass to get his money, you know? No, instead of that, they decided to park like 100 feet from the fucking ATM. Why? Is he like a new driver and he's afraid he'll bump into something? Again, it's almost 1 a.m. I don't drive, and my ass would still freaking just be right there, just waiting for it. Okay, fine, whatever, so the plot says. For shit to happen to them, you know, like, who goes to ATM at a weird hour for, like, you know, like what Chris Rock says, for something positive? You know, if you're taking out money around, like, at least sometime late, I would say at least midnight, midnight to 5 a.m. or so. That's around the hours where if you're taking out money, it's like, you want to rethink your life just a little. Or your friends. So yeah, Josh Peck goes in. Then the main guy goes in because he's just like, oh dude, my card's not working or whatever. So the girl feels weird being in the car by herself, and she walks out. But she doesn't take her purse, nor does she, like, even if she doesn't take her purse, she doesn't take her wallet or her phone. Like, I don't carry a purse. I tend to make sure I always have at least my phone on me or my wallet. It's like one or the other. You know, like I know when I'm at work and I go to get my lunch, if I have like my money, sometimes I'll have my phone on me, sometimes I won't, you know, but it's like, I don't know, if I know I'm like, I don't know, if I know it's late at night, I'm in like a colleague's car, I don't know, I would just, even if I leave my purse there, I would still grab my wallet, or at least the important thing, like maybe like your credit card in case shit happens, and your phone, you know, and then she goes, grabs the guy's keys, you know, which was smart. She goes to like lock it, but the thing doesn't do it, and already you're like, wow, the plot is really just, you know, really making it hard on you to care about these people. So they go and they're like, oh, I'm taking out this money, and the weird guy and like the killer guy is there, and he's just standing there in his freaking like, you know, what's that movie, Urban Legends, like the big coat kind of stuff. It's not a girl, it's a guy. So he's just standing there, and I don't know. I would just been like, alright, that guy's weird, so we're gonna have our money here. Either like you take your money out or you just deposit it back in and you're like, you know, let's just go home. And you walk out, if he comes to attack you, there's three of you, you three can run in different directions. Who's he gonna catch? And even then, run. Like, fuck it, just run. Run for your fucking life. So a guy who's walking his dog late at night, or dog, and then because the dog's barking at him, the guy kills the guy with the dog. And of course, because that happens, everyone in the ATM is like, oh my god, like freaking the fuck out. And so there's this whole thing about how like, oh, you can't come in, you know, it's an ATM, so you can't come into the building without, you know, swiping the card, yada yada. And then, like, Josh Peck is like, yeah, the magnetic strip on my card's acting up, yada yada. And the girl does the whole, like, wait, how did you get in if you couldn't go through security lock? And he's like, well, huh? And then the boy, like, pushes the door ever so slightly. And it's like, oh, the lock thing was broken, but they don't let the killer guy know. Because by this time, he, like, went around back. And I'm sorry, if you saw the killer go around back, I would, like, wait for, like, goes around back, wait a couple beats, and just again, run. Fucking run for your life. That's the thing about this movie that I don't get, is that they just didn't have the common sense to do things like run for your fucking life. I know it's fucking cold, but adrenaline kicks in and your ass is gonna fucking run, you know? Like, not that I wasn't anywhere near that situation, but I did have a short amount of time to get to the train station before, you know, like, I had like 3 more trains up before I wasn't going to be able to make it home in time, and I went from the east side to the west side within 10 minutes. I don't know how I did it. Yeah, look at that jiggle. I don't know how the fuck I did it, you know. I had a backpack on and everything, a nice shirt, a bow tie. I was all dressed all nice and shit. I still like I don't know, I was running. My fat ass was running. It's a possibility. So the killer goes to their car, you know, opens it up, opens the back, and then like goes for a toolbox and a fucking, what do you call it, tire iron. That's why he went around the back of the ATM. Like, the killer was back there and he was kind of like messing with the heat and stuff because it was cold, and so there was only a little bit of heat that was coming in, and so he was messing with that, and so it's just like, oh no, they're in this dire situation, and the killer guy still doesn't know that he could easily just open the door. So the main guy decides, okay, he's gonna make a break for the car. He gets to the car, he can't open the car because there was like this little talk about he has like this little thing on his visor for good luck or whatever. It gets stuck in the lock, so he can't open it. Goes around the other way, he gets in, goes the other side. The killer breaks the passenger side window, and you know, he's trying to start the car. He can't start the car because he pulled all the wires out and all that stuff. And he's like, oh fuck, what do we do? I don't know, keep running. But instead he runs back into the ATM with his friends. Okay, so then a security car shows up, and the security guard gets killed. You know, like, he kind of drives up, he sees, like, you know, he parks next to the car, as much as everyone at the window is like, help, 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 you know? And I think by then the girl wrote, like, help in lipstick on the window. So yeah, he drives and parks next to their car and sees it bust up. But instead of, like, while everyone's like, get me the fuck out, you know, there's a killer. So he parks, he walks to them like, is everybody okay? And then he dies. Like, sweet. There's a few times, like, you have no idea where the killer is. Like, they're just talking and they're not keeping an eye on where he is. Like, I would keep an eye on the fucking guy. If I'm trapped in a situation like that, I would make sure where the fuck the person's going. So again, if the person went behind the back, I'm running, I'm getting the fuck out of there. And even then, like, if he, like, somehow he's not in their line of sight and then they're just like, oh well. So some random dude, this part actually, because it did catch me off guard, because majority of the movie is just a lot of like, what's that? Something's happening over there. Oh my god. Well, this is happening and that is happening. But this is an actual thing that I was like, so like a random guy comes into the ATM with the same kind of parka and stuff like that because it's fucking cold, and they immediately think it's the killer. Like, I knew it wasn't. And they fucking, like, you know, the two guys just start punching the shit out of him. They end up, like, taking the, what do you call that, the bank pen, the little chain thingy, and choking the guy. He's dead. And then they see, like, outside the ATM is the guy still standing there. They're like, who is this? Oh my god. They check his wallet. They're like, why was he out here? And then they realize, like, oh, he's a janitor. He was actually on his way to work, you know, because people work nights and whatever not. So that really sucks. That really sucks. And also, like, every so often you'll see, you know, like how the movie is shot, but every so often you see, like, the security footage, and I already knew, like, if you just look at the security footage alone, you're like, yo, it's just gonna look like these people just decided to fuck up, like, an ATM. Like, it's just gonna not look right, you know? It's not gonna work in their favor. Yeah, so then at one point, so Josh Peck takes the dead guy's coat and then decides to make a run for it, and he gets clotheslined, you know, and he runs, he's like, whew, I thought he slipped on ice, because again, it's cold, but instead there was like a fucking monofilament, and he like fucking gets caught on it and falls. But it's also like, well, kudos to the killer guy to know that he was gonna run that direction, you know, because the main road was like over here. I would have, I don't know, just me. Yeah, so then Josh Peck gets like a fucking screwdriver, like, in there, and you're like, well, he's dead, good, because he was a douchebag. But, oh wait, he's alive, because at one point when the killer is like fucking up in the back of the ATM building, you see him like get up, like, hobble, let me get up, you know, and they're like, oh my god, he's still alive, and I'd be like, dude, just stay down, just stay down, if you want to stay, just stay down. I would have just like, stay down. So yeah, they like, grab him and bring him back into the ATM. I don't know how many times I can say this, just make a fucking run for it, dude, just fucking run. Not Josh Peck, because he can't really run, because he's got a fucking screwdriver, but everyone else, just run, like, get cops for your, you know, half-dead friend later, you know? So once you're back in there and they're, like, trying to, like, stop the bleeding and all that stuff, the killer goes around back, and there's, like, a hose that, behind there's, like, a little spot that sells, like, Christmas trees, had, like, just a hose, and he, like, sticks the hose somewhere. I don't know where he sticks the fucking hose, but it goes through the heat vent and starts flooding the fucking ATM building. Mind you, he also took the main guy's car and pushed it against the front door, but it's also like this is where the ATM was, and his car was here. How did he, like, you know, he put it in neutral and pushed it, but how was he able to, like, push it and then, like, get it so perfectly squared to the door? Like, certain movie logic, I know it's a movie, but I would just rather if you would just had it at an angle, just because it's like, you can still, you know, keep the door closed from it because it's a car. Alright, so, you know, they were still able to kind of open the door a little, so I'm thinking, if they would have just kept the door just a little open, the water would have just like, it wouldn't have just been flooded in as much. Just let the water out just a little. Plus, again, the door pushes out, so the pressure of the water could have actually pushed the door open. Then again, this movie logic is horrible. So, Josh Peck ends up, dying, so his body's just drowning, just like, that kind of stuff. The guy and girl are trying to like burn like whatever the deposit slips in the trash can to cause the sprinkler to go off. And the thing is, they didn't have a lighter in the first place. They actually took that from the dead guy, who just so happens to, lucky enough to be a dead guy who, smoked. And so they did it, and I kept thinking like, while the thing was burning and it had this metal trash can, I'm like, at any point was that really hot when you're lifting that metal trash can up? So finally, like, they were finally able to like reach it, get a water coming down this way, water going that, and so of course, like, it's water. The guy, because he's in dress shoes, he slips, he falls. The girl falls on the part where you get the fucking deposit slip on that glass plastic thing, whangs her head, she's dead, so she's dead. And then the fucking guy crashes the security car, like, crashes the security car, hitting his car, and his car breaking the ATM thing, like, crash open, so, like, this whole huge, like, thing happens. Oh, I wish you could see my feet. Whee! Okay, there you go. Like, that happens. And so the guy, because Josh Peck was still drinking, he had like a bottle of wine or something. He takes like some fabric or something, decides to make a Molotov cocktail. Sees a guy, mind you, in the back of his own car, he had like a camper's like chair. So the guy's like watching them drown. Pretty much, it's like, this is great. Rub my belly, So he gets his Molotov cocktail and he sees him sitting there and he chucks at him. He goes up in flames, and I immediately, it's like that's not him, And no, it's a security guard. It was the poor dead security guard. Yeah, so the security guard's on fire, and then he knows it's a killer, and he's like, oh, fuck, like, what do I do, yada yada. But then sirens, you start hearing sirens, and so then, like, he's like, oh, finally, yes, yada yada. So then the killer's like, let me just go behind here where these dumpsters are and hide, like, okay. So the cops come and they immediately arrest him. Like, not the killer, the main guy. They immediately arrest him because, just by looking at it, just by suspicion, of course the guy's like, no, I didn't do it, blah blah, the guy's right there. And he was right there, and he was the only one there. It was a bunch of cops and firefighters and EMT, and there was the only guy who was very obviously hiding behind the dumpsters. And then a crowd started to happen, like, out of nowhere, because why not, right? And it's like, come on, like, okay, well, fine. I understand the whole, like, maybe he's just being hysterical, or he's just bullshitting, he's like, whatever, he's the killer. But, so then, like, he gets put into the cop car, gets driven away, and he's, like, looking at the freaking crowd and wondering, like, if any of them is him. It's kind of hard. Again, it's cold, it's December, everyone's wearing a fucking parka, all that stuff. And you see the forensics team is looking through the footage, and again, makes him look bad because, he's at the ATM. Then he's kicking the ATM. Then, like, they kill the guy. And then he accidentally pushes the girl over, who trips over the dead guy, and then of course the footage cuts out, so it just makes him look really bad, and it seems, easily conviction kind of stuff. But if you think about it, yeah, via the footage, sure, he was stuck in there, yada yada, but then, you're kind of thinking, how did he, like, if he was stuck in there, because it was kind of, like, it kind of showed that he was kind of stuck in there, how the fuck did he, drive his own car onto the building, and then drive the security car, hitting his own car into the building to break it, and then all that stuff. Like, and the movie really has no ending. There isn't a payoff. You don't find out who the killer is. It's just this guy, he goes back to this storage unit thingy, which he somehow lives out of because, you're allowed to. And because the movie starts off with this guy kind of doing, like, planning kind of stuff, and you see the guy continuing planning like other things, like, oh, you can see where the range of the camera is, so no matter what, it's like a jig, like he's trying to be Jigsaw but not anywhere near smart. It's like one of Jigsaw's like shitty apprentices for the, like, if Saw made it to like Saw 9 and 10 and whatever not, this would have been one of his people. Like Amanda was pretty good, you know, and then somehow like after Amanda they all kind of dwindled, dwindled, anyway, dwindled down. So this would be like Saw 9, 10, 11, fucking never, you know, like probably, I don't know, I heard they're wanting to reboot it, so probably, you know. So yeah, he just goes back and plans more to figure out where, like, you know, where the cameras won't see him and yada yada, which is like fine. You got this killer who like kills people and then blames, if anyone survives, it's their fault kind of thing, you know. It's like they made themselves, like, you know, they like made themselves look like the killer to kind of shit, like just framing people. Fine, kind of not bad concept, but really poorly executed, you know, because if you really think about it, like, if you're at least a decent, like, detective, even a rookie cop would be like, something doesn't make sense. Yeah, I got all this evidence here, and none of this makes any sense. You got this guy telling me X, Y, and Z, you know? Like, yeah, it just doesn't make any fucking sense. What did I write in the end? Yeah, and mind you, the movie ends with 9 minutes still left in the movie. Now, for an indie movie, for a 9-minute like credit sequence is fucking ridiculous. You know, for like big budget movies, their credit sequence aren't even, I don't think they're like even 9 minutes. Like, are you kidding me? And it's like the credits, and then it just shows him planning out more things, more random shots of maps, and you know, because it's like they're just trying to hit that 90-minute mark, because this movie obviously was not, you know, and it's just like maps and things and highways and boom, and then more credits. And then it's like maps and things and stuff and blah, blah, blah. And things you never see who the killer is, so you don't know who it is. It's just some guy, you know? So it's not like, oh, it's that one guy in his office that I thought it was him, because like Josh Peck's character kept giving him shit the entire night, kept being like, it was like really douchebaggery. It wasn't like, oh, he was just being an ass and like, you know, just taking the piss out of him. He was just like, okay, you're a dick, and you know what, you kind of deserve a screwdriver in the stomach kind of thing. But yeah, it's just like, the movie really had no ending. Like, it just, like, that happened, you don't get a resolution of it, because you don't really see who the killer is for you to be like, oh shit, he did. It was just like, it's some bloke, you know, that kind of stuff. Because at least with Saw, like, the guy had a reason, in a sense, to kill these people. But this is just like, he felt like it, you know. And it's also like, well, how long, it also makes you think, like, how long was this guy waiting for someone just to show up at this ATM at, like, midnight, you know? Was it something that he always planned? Did he have, like, 3 or 4 other locations to be like, well, let's see, if they're not at the supermarket, they're gonna be at this ATM, if they're not, they're gonna be at the gas station, you know? Like, what? You know, like, I don't know. This movie, like, I thought it was just me, and then, like, I saw the reviews on Netflix, and I was just like, good. Like, everyone, I love how people are like, 1 star, blah, blah, blah. If I could give 0 stars, I'd give it. Someone was like 5 stars, best comedy of the year. So I'm like, good. You know, we all feel the same way. They all felt like, we all had the same, like, feeling about it. So I was like, okay, it's not just me, because whenever I watch, like, movies or anything, it's always me. But yeah, it's just, I really, like, normally no matter how bad a movie is, I still recommend it to people. Be like, oh, this is a good laugh with friends. Like I recently recommended Devil for, you know, my manager to watch, because I'm like, you know, it's fun. It's like you and your friends want to wager bets to see who the killer is, kind of see who the devil is. But this movie was really bad, and I wouldn't suggest, like, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is a fun movie to put on with your friends kind of stuff. Like, no, you and your friends are going to get aggravated the entire time you're watching it. It's going to be like when Glee and I used to, you know, watch a lot of, oh god, when we had more time and watch more, like, bad movies together, and how I would kind of be laughing and she would just be like groaning the entire time. You know, it's like, this isn't fun, this movie just sucks. you know, and that's just sad. That was ATM. This was probably an overly long review than it needed to be. That was it. This gross, disgusting, abandoned hotel thingy, and fuck. He has fucking bells to signify someone's bumping it on a bed. And so, to the left, oddly enough, but I think these are different.
Sounds very extravagant.
So we're in the maze now. Someone's talking.
Great job. Thanks for joining us today.
We're just trying to...
Have a good day.
Oh, hey.